Hello everyone. So today I'm sharing a beach layout with you guys. I'm using the Echo Park I Love Summer collection, and the pictures are just photos of my husband and I with our kids last year at the beach. I wanted this wood grain to be the background of the paper. The only paper that is not a part of this Echo Park collection is the little pink piece of paper. You'll see it in just a minute. That paper is going to be from Pebbles Peekaboo You collection. So I'm just taking the papers and cutting them. I'm not using any particular size or method or anything. I'm just cutting them up and seeing what looks best as far as the layering goes. I knew that I wanted to use this fish paper. I thought it was so cute. And there's that pink paper I was telling you about that is Pebbles and not Echo Park. So I wanted the fish paper to layer so it would be bigger than the blue paper, widthwise, not lengthwise. And the way I had it, the blue paper was just kind of getting lost. So at one point you're going to see me take the blue paper and I'm going to cut it into a skinnier piece and then cut it in half and expand it. Now here I want that green paper to back my photos, so I took the largest photo that I had and just made sure that it was going to evenly back the photos. I want that green paper to make the pictures pop. They all have a white border, so they'll pop pretty well off the page. I always like to have a white border on my photos. And here's the method I used for that blue. I think I cut it even skinnier. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. And I figured out that this is how I want to lay out my photos. Oh, and there I am. I'm cutting it skinnier. So I just cut each piece skinnier and then I layer it underneath so it just looks like it's longer than it actually is. And I'm sorry there's a little bit cut off. There we go. I fixed it. So I wanted to use a frame around this picture of my son Max, and I have several chipboard frames, but I couldn't figure. I really wanted to use that holographic one because I wanted to add some holographic elements to this page, but the orange just in that holographic frame wasn't working with the orange that is on the fishies, so I ended up using the skinnier frame, the like off-whitish one, and you'll see that in a little while. And at this point, I'm sorry for the long pause. I must have gone and looked for something. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there, I'm getting the distress ink. I always distress my edges just to make the layout and the papers a little more cohesive. So I used some, I think that was denim blue. And here I'm just taping everything down layer by layer, trying not to move the papers around too much because I want to remember exactly where they are. And there you're going to see that I realized that the green was just really crooked. So I had to pull it up and readjust it. I still didn't get it perfect. It was driving me a little crazy, but I just kind of went with it. And still inking all the edges. I use the distress inks for every layout. I have multiple colors, and I just thought that the blue went really well with the papers in this collection. And I'm just making sure everything's straight before I glue down that pink paper and those blue papers. I kind of liked the way the pink paper looked at the top rather than towards the bottom, but I decided to go with towards the bottom because of how I want to have my title for the layout, and it ended up working out. Just putting my photos down. And again, I'm trying to make that holographic frame work, but as you can see, I just couldn't get it to work, and I ended up using the off-white one instead. And I'm just adding some pop dots so it kind of pops off the page. I realized when I put it down that you couldn't see his little toes, and I wanted his little toes to show just because I think they're cute. And I think at this point I was looking through my thickers and deciding what to use, and I instantly knew that I wanted to use that Fun in the Sun title for this page. I just loved the font of it and how it was laid out. And I think at this point I was going to get a little box that has, yep, there are my little boxes of embellishments. And I think I was looking for something I could use for a journaling spot. Yeah, and I was also looking for something circular that I could use because there's so many squares on the page. And I'm just flipping through everything that I have. I have all my ephemera and embellishments sorted by theme. And then I couldn't find anything circular to use with this page, so I ended up cutting some doilies up and layering that underneath some of the papers. And it actually looked pretty cute, and it added a nice different texture from the papers. And I think it gave a pretty good spot for the title as well. Something that would, because if you put the title on those pattern papers, it's gonna just kind of, you're not gonna really be able to see the title very well. So having that white doily in the background really helps it to pop. And here I'm just playing around with the where that tag is gonna go. And I like the title right there, so I'm just going to cut it out for now instead of sticking it down, just to be sure that's where I want it to go. And I think there I must be adding some pop dots to that little journaling spot. Yeah, I was my pop dots are starting to run out, so I've just been cutting the excess foam and using it that way. So I have that popped up. And I'm starting to look at the sticker sheet to use it for embellishments, but I didn't find anything on the sticker sheet that I actually liked. So I pulled these Pebbles ephemera from my stash. I'm not sure of the collection, but I'll link it below. I pulled that, and I really liked that little boy and that little girl because the little boy is it looks exactly like my son. He has like this light red hair. And then the little girl looks like my daughter because she has dark brown hair. I thought it was perfect. And then I did end up finding a circular sticker that I really liked on that sticker sheet. So I added that. And I'm trying to decide what to do underneath the title because I want my embellishments to to kind of make a triangle around the pictures. And you can see I'm just trying different stickers from that sheet. And then I ended up picking these sunglasses. I really liked how that looked. So I think I eventually pop it up on some pop dots. And I'm just making sure the title is where I want it to be. That way there's no awkward gap between that title and the sunglasses. And now I'm just adhering down the little girl and the little boy. And I'm putting them up on pop dots as well. And on that journaling spot, I will journal about our day at the beach. I usually type out my journaling. I don't like my handwriting, so I tend to just print it out on vellum and put it wherever it's needed on the page. Now I'm just bringing out some enamel dots and seeing which colors work. Enamel dots are my favorite thing to add to any scrapbook layout. I think I use them on pretty much every layout, so I just like to use them in clusters to carry any color over to certain sections that might not necessarily have that color. And then I realized I didn't adhere that circle sticker down yet, so I think I added some pop dots on that as well. And I think at this point I was trying to decide whether I was done with the enamel dots or if I had too many enamel dots, but I end up adding more because how can you have too many enamel dots? And then I have this rickrack ribbon that I really wanted to add to the page just to give more texture to the page. And I realized I really liked it laying over that blue paper. So I ended up adhering that down just with my tape runner, which was a little bit of a pain, but it got the job done. You can see I'm tucking the glue from my tape runner down in the little crevices of the rick rack ribbon. And then I just cut the edge and tucked the little bits behind the layout. And I'm just adhering them down. And for the title, I finally decided to go ahead and put the actual thickers down. And I'm just lining them up so they line up the way that I originally had them set up. I did the bigger words first, just because it seemed the easiest way to do. The T drove me a little crazy because it did not want to lay straight. And that's my layout. I'll be sure to post some pictures as well. Thank you. Bye.